Okay, today you should have up lesson 3.2, place value of decimals. It is page 109 and 110 in your papers. Okay, you can use place value charts to understand decimals. Whole numbers are to the left of the decimal point. Decimals are to the right of the decimal point. And here's our problem this morning. The Brooklyn Battery Tunnel in New York City is 1 726,000 miles long. To understand this distance, you need to understand the place value of each digit in 1 726,000. So in order to do that, you need to know where to place your numbers in your place value chart. So 1 is a whole number, right? So it goes to the left of the decimal, and then the place just to the right of the decimal is the tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. And if we're to write that in expanded form, we would have 1 times 1, 7 times 1/10, because this is the tenths place, 2 in the hundredths place, so we could say 2 times 100, and then 6 is in the thousandths place, so 6 times 1,000, or we could write it as the whole number 1 with the decimal point, 0.7 with 7 in the tenths place, 0.02, the 2 is in the hundredths place, and 0.006 with the 6 in the thousandths place. The place value of the digit 6 in 1 726 is thousandths. So this 6 is in the thousandths place. The value of 6 in 1 726 thousandths is 6 times 1,000, or written as a decimal, 0.006. Again, this is the ones, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. In standard form, this is how we would normally write our numbers. 1, we say and for the decimal, 726 thousandths. In word form, 1 726 thousandths. And then in expanded form, here's your whole number, 1 times 1. Here's your tenths, 7 times 1/10. Here's your hundredth, 2 times 100. And then your thousandths, 2 times 1,000. Okay, this is at the bottom of the page where it's in a little box and it says A and B. So let's try this. Use place value to read and write decimals in word form. What are we going to always put where the decimal point is? What word? And. Very good. So, and what are we going to start with? 2 and, what's this number?
35.
35. Don't forget your hyphen between your 30 and your 5. And what are we going to put at the end of that?
Hundreds.
Hundredths. Very good. You should be writing that on your paper. Now in expanded form, here's the ones place, 2 times 1, plus, what are we going to put here? And what are we going to multiply that by? 1/10. And put some parentheses around that 1/10. Then you're going to put the plus sign. And now what are we going to put? 5 times 1 over 100, or 100. Put some parentheses around that 100. So 2 times 1 represents our whole number. 3 times 1/10 represents our 1/10. And 5 times 100 represents our 5 in the hundredths place. Yes, Steve?
Can we put them around the 3 and the 110?
Okay, this next one, they still are going to have us write it in those 3 forms, standard, word, and expanded, but this time we have to, the only one they give us the whole thing of is the word form. So let's read this together. 3 and 614 thousandths. So as you're saying that, you're going to go 3, okay, and what do we do where the and is?
For
Decimal. And 614 thousandths. There it is. 3 and 614 thousandths. In expanded form, we need to do our whole number, so we're going to put 3 times 1. Then they gave us the 6 times 1/10. So what are we going to write next? 1 times what?
100.
Not 1/10, 100. And our last number is in what place?
4
The thousandth. So 4 times 1,000. Okay, now we're at the top of page 110, and we're going to practice using our place value chart. Here is our problem. The silk spun by a common garden spider is about 3/1000 millimeter thick. A commonly used sewing thread is about 3/10 millimeters thick. So threads that you see in your clothes are about 3/10 thick, and the thread of a spider silk is 3/1000. So think about that, how thin that would be. It says, how does the thickness of the spider silk and the thread compare? Write the numbers in the place value chart. So we're going to write first the common thread. It said it was 3/10. And then the spider silk is 3/1000. Everybody got that? It says count the number of decimal place value positions to the digit 3 in 3/10 and 3/1000. So we're going from 3/10 to 3/1000. 1, 2. So 3/10 has 2 fewer decimal places than 3/1000. That means they've taken that 3/10 and divided it down one time by 10, and then divided it again by 10. So 2 fewer decimal places is 10 times 10, which is what?
100.
100. We learned that clear back at the beginning, didn't we?
Yep.
Okay. Three-tenths is blank times as much as 3/1000. Remember that we moved 2 decimal places, so there's 1 times 1/10 and 2/10. And what is 10 times 10?
100.
So it is 100 times as much as 3 thousandths. And 3 thousandths is what of 3/10? We did this yesterday. Remember, we had to use the,
110.
not 1/10,
100.
100th. If this is 100 times bigger, then this has to be 100 of it. So the thread is how many times as thick? 100 times as thick as the garden spider silk. The thickness of the garden spider silk is 100 that of the thread. All right, this is the try this at the bottom of page 110. It says try this, use place value patterns, rename 3/10 using the other place value. So 3/10 is 3/10 or 3 times 1/10. 3/10 is how many hundredths? 30 hundredths, or 30 times 100. Or if we're moving clear out to the thousands, it's 300 thousandths or 300 times 1,000. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move to the next page. The Sharon Show, complete the place value chart to find the value of each digit. This is exactly what we did back on page 109. So our number is 3 and 524 thousandths. So 3 times 1 is our whole number. 5 times what?
10.
Not 10, but
110.
1/10. Then they did the hundredths for us, so we've got to do the thousandths. 4 times 1/1000. Okay, then we're going to write it in decimal form. So just 3. This would be what you would do if it said show the value of the 2 in 3 and 524 thousandths. You would just show the value of the 2. If they wanted the value of the 4 in 3 and 524 thousandths, then you would show just the value of the 4. This is number 7 on page 111. It deals with the value of the underlying digit. This one would be written as 9 hundredths. Or this one is number 10, and it would be written as 3/10. Or